Imagine a world where those who follow the rules, work hard, and play fair are rewarded with success, recognition, and power. Seems fair, right? But now, look around you. Who is really on top? The most ethical or the most ruthless? Those who adhere to morality or those who manipulate the rules to their advantage? The brutal truth is that society sells an illusion. From childhood, you have been conditioned to believe that good always triumphs, that honest effort leads to success, and that justice is the foundation of the world. But Nietzsche saw reality differently, in a darker and more uncomfortable way. For him, morality was nothing more than a tool of control, a farce created to keep the weak in line while the true masters take what they want. And that's why you see manipulators thriving. The most unscrupulous leaders dominate in politics. The most exploitative companies monopolize markets. The most selfish rise in the hierarchy, while the naive are left behind. The game has never been about merit. It has always been about power. And power belongs to those who understand this before others. Nietzsche called this the will to power, the raw force that separates those who command from those who obey. But most people never wake up to this truth. They prefer to believe in the comfortable lie that justice always prevails. Do you believe that too? Or are you ready to see the naked and raw reality? Because after this video, you will never see the world the same way again. Since you were born, you have been taught that the world is governed by justice. That if you work hard, are a good person, and act correctly, success will be inevitable. But stop and think, does this really reflect reality? Who is at the top, the most diligent or the most strategic? The most just or those who do not hesitate to manipulate? Society operates on the basis of a comfortable lie, the illusion of meritocracy. The concept is simple. Those who do everything right, who follow the rules and dedicate themselves honestly, will eventually be rewarded. But Nietzsche saw this belief as an illusion designed to keep the weak docile and the powerful in control. The truth is that history has never been written by the most just, but by the most relentless. Think of the greatest empires in humanity. Rome did not become one of the greatest empires of the ancient world by being just. It conquered territories by destroying civilizations, enslaving peoples, and crushing anyone who opposed its dominion. The United States did not become a superpower by being ethical. Its rise was based on wars, exploitation, and economic domination. And in the corporate world, industry giants did not reach the top by being charitable. Amazon, Google, Apple, all these companies grew by eliminating competitors, manipulating markets, and prioritizing expansion above any moral consideration. But the most frightening thing is that this system is not a mistake. It was designed to work exactly this way. The French philosopher Michel Foucault observed that power is never distributed fairly. It is accumulated, concentrated, and protected by those who already possess it. The idea of a just world is a convenient narrative, keeping people believing that success comes from goodness and hard work is the best way to ensure they do not rebel against the true owners of the game. And Nietzsche went even further. He identified that traditional morality, the one that teaches values like humility, sacrifice, and resignation, is not a universal code of conduct. It is a mechanism created by the weak to contain the strong. He called this slave morality, a morality that glorifies submission and demonizes power. Those who follow this morality believe that being ambitious is wrong, that seeking one's own greatness is arrogance, and that challenging the system is immoral. But this mentality only serves to ensure that the true lords of the world remain in command. Meanwhile, those who reject this morality and follow what Nietzsche called master morality are seen as cruel, arrogant, and dangerous. But they are the ones who shape history. They are the ones who do not ask for permission, who impose their will on reality, who create their own rules instead of obeying those imposed by others. They do not wait for justice. They take what they want. And that is why you see so many good people trapped in miserable lives while the most relentless dominate the world. Because while some believe in the rules, others break them. While some wait for recognition, others impose their presence. While some complain about injustice, others take advantage of it. The question that remains is, will you continue to believe in what you were taught? Or are you ready to face the truth? If there is one idea that defines Nietzsche's philosophy, it is the will to power. For him, everything in life, from biology to politics, from individual desires to large social structures, is driven by a single essential force, the impulse to dominate, expand, and impose one's will on the world. The modern illusion is to believe that people seek happiness, peace, or harmony. Nietzsche saw this as a convenient lie. What truly motivates individuals is not comfort, but ascent. Every form of life struggles to grow, conquer, and assert itself over others. The lion that kills to dominate a territory, the CEO who crushes competitors to expand his company, the politician who manipulates to stay in power, all are manifestations of the same brute force, the will to power. But here is the detail that separates winners from losers. Most people have this impulse repressed. Since childhood, you have been taught to contain your desires, to be humble, to respect limits imposed by others. You have been conditioned to believe that wanting more is wrong, that seeking power is dangerous, and that ambition is synonymous with greed. Meanwhile, those who understand the truth not only accept this impulse, they cultivate it. Nietzsche believed that the great conquerors of history, the revolutionary artists, the immortal leaders, were those who did not fear their own will to power. They did not wait for permission, did not conform to the rules imposed by slave morality, did not cling to abstract concepts like justice or goodness when these became obstacles to realizing their potential. And this leads us to a fundamental point. Power is not something that is given. It is not a prize awarded to the most diligent or a reward for those who follow the rules. Power is something that is taken. If you look at history, you will see that the true victors were not those who waited for recognition, but those who imposed their presence. Alexander the Great did not ask for permission to conquer empires. Napoleon did not wait for a throne to be handed to him. He took it. Steve Jobs did not seek approval when he decided to reinvent the technology industry. He ignored the criticism and did what he wanted. The difference between those who command and those who obey is simple. One understands that the world belongs to those who impose their will. The other believes in the illusion that there is a fair system that will eventually reward him. And this applies to everything. In the workplace, have you noticed that the most dedicated employee is rarely promoted? Meanwhile, the guy who sells himself better, who takes credit, who plays by the rules of power, rises in the hierarchy. In the business world, companies that operate with aggression, strategy, and even manipulation dominate markets, while those that insist on playing fair are crushed by competition. Nietzsche saw this not as a flaw in the system, but as its essence. The world was not made to be fair. It is a battlefield where only those who embrace their will to power can shape reality to their advantage. And here is the truth that few have the courage to face. If you do not impose your own will on the world, someone will do it for you. If you do not define your own values, someone will impose them on you. If you do not play to win, you will merely be a pawn in someone else's game. If there is something that keeps most people trapped in a life of mediocrity, it is the morality imposed by the system. Since childhood, you have been taught to be humble, to avoid conflict, to put others before yourself, to follow the rules. You are told that being good is the path to success, that acting with ethics and kindness will ensure that you will be rewarded in the end. But Nietzsche unmasked this illusion. He realized that traditional morality is not a universal truth. It is a control mechanism created to keep the weak submissive and the strong contained. Think about it. Who defined the rules that say ambition is bad? Who decided that wanting more is selfishness? Who implanted the idea that desiring power is something evil? The answer is simple. Those who are already at the top. The morality that dominates society is what Nietzsche called slave morality. It glorifies submission, obedience, and the renunciation of one's own interests. It teaches that being peaceful is a virtue, that accepting life's difficulties without questioning is a sign of character, that rejecting the desire for power is to be an evolved person. But who really benefits from this morality? Certainly not those who follow